Welcome to the Spilled Ink and Coffee Show, where we take book discussions to a new level. We don't just read books, we interview them, journal about them, sip coffee, spill thoughts, and explore stories on and off the page. Grab a cup and get cozy, because every book deserves a great conversation. It's a full-on nostalgia meltdown. Take a peek into our 1980s childhood. It's jokes, it's journals, and it's just enough literacy chaos to keep things interesting. Bring your favorite pen, your beverage of choice, and a healthy fear of PTA meetings. Don't blame us. Blame it on the pad thai. We're talking about rehearsal because Rachel's in Dial M for Murder, but we're not going to spoil anything. We'll tell you all about it after the show opens. Mm-hmm. But it leads me into a pirate movie. Because we're talking musicals and theater right now. And I'm not joking when I say I love this freaking movie.
It's a moment. I've only seen it once.
I should have brought it so you could see it again in all of its amazing, messy glory. I think there's only 2 or 3 songs from Pirates of Penzance. That's why it's such a loosely, it's not really based on that at all. This to me is Grease 3, the musical, the pirate version. Honest to goodness. If you just go on original music alone.
Okay.
It's Grease 3 of the Caribbean. But you can't help but love it. Like, I don't take it seriously, and your daughter and I bantered so hard on DM.
Has she seen it?
Yes, I guess. I'm assuming, how can she not? Listen, Rebecca, I'm assuming you saw the movie because we had a great banter about how you can't take it serious over at your college at OC, and I truly appreciate it. And I don't consider this a mastery in musical theater in any way, shape, or form. This might have been a little ahead of its time or slightly behind its time. So there's either way you could go with it.
Okay.
But I'm now titling it Grease 3 of the Caribbean.
Okay.
And the end song is genius, my favorite, because everybody deserves a happy ending, and that's what it is. And you can misconstrue this in many ways. So good.
As you can with several of the Grease 2 songs.
Yes, trying to find any Christy McNichols that's not streaming anywhere. And she did leave us early in her life, you know. All of Christopher Atkins stuff is everywhere. And I think she was brilliant in it. My favorite's the opening where she looks like a nerd and she's got the big 80s boombox, and then all the women are walking in the bikini to the beat that she's holding, and then they're all like, let's go on an island with the cute boy, and then she goes to McDonald's, and it's our McDonald's, it's a childhood McDonald's, and I'm like, yes, that's where Rachel and I got Happy Meals as children.
And my cousins had birthday parties.
Right. Did you have a Ronald at yours?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
It was truly frightening.
Yes.
And I was like probably 9 or 10 at the time.
I wish that now as an adult that I could go back and be a fly on the wall for the casting call for the local Ronalds that attend the birthday parties, because they had to really fit a certain aesthetic.
Yeah.
So I just like, how anybody know about Ronald auditions? Let us know, Ronald McDonald, and what kind of process that is.
There was, what airport was I in? Was I in Austin? I might have been in Austin. I was in the Austin airport, the Southwest terminal, and they had a bench with a Ronald McDonald plastic statue. And people kept coming up and taking pictures with the Ronald McDonald statue. And I was like, I don't know, it looks a little creepy.
Well, we had a Playland at ours. I don't know if it's still there. So anybody who lives in Moriches, New York on Long Island, that's where the McDonald's is. And they had the Playland, and they had all the statues by all of the playthings. And then there was like the ride a fry guy and bounce on it and hold. You can't see what
there was like a Hamburglar tower thing that you could climb up. Yeah.
Even though people are like, they think that fast food places are a time of before time. I don't think that's true in regards to McDonald's. McDonald's is just such a big cultural icon.
Well, and they have the best fountain Diet Coke.
I don't disagree with that, because that used to be my my thing for sure. Fountain diet.
It's you can read about it. It has to do with the way the cold water that they pump in.
The ratio
to the soda machine. It has to do with the water, the temperature of the water. It makes it so different and so cool. I don't know why I'm talking about this because I can't have it for another 2 weeks.
Maybe that's why you got to talk about it.
Lent, people, Lent.
Do it, but you got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what I got to do.
I don't know. I love McDonald's. Barbies, so all of the neighborhood girls, and mind you, I grew up in Massac, Long Island, not safe streets and such. So we would have play dates, and the parents would coordinate what Santa was bringing as far as Barbie stuff. So that way we didn't have doubles.
Nice.
So one around the block, she had the dream house. The other one had the van. The other one had the Corvette. We had the Barbie McDonald's. Like that was a thing. Little burgers, little spatulas.
I remember that.
So we had everything. Plus she had a job. It was pretty cool.
I remember that. I had the Barbie cube. It was more like an octopus. You opened it up. You could carry it, like you could latch it, and it would carry like a cube.
And her dressing stuff was in there. Is that the dressing one?
No, you opened it up, and one side was her office. The little desk folded down.
I love
And
this.
the other side was her apartment.
Oh,
so
wow.
like
New York City living.
Yes. So then, and it had a little closet, and it was office Barbie, but then she had an apartment on the other side.
But I think our time was the best time for Barbie stuff.
Rebecca never really got into Barbies,
She
but
doesn't
she
seem like
had it was all the Disney princess ones that were Barbies.
That's why, because she's a Disney kid.
Yes. So she had all the
wasn't a
Disney,
Barbie kid.
all the Disney princess stuff.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right. I'm gonna say that we were all the things. Like we did everything from making stages with my dad's boats in the back and played on our badminton rackets and made a live band. We smashed rocks with hammers. We played Barbies. We made mud pies in the Easy Bake Oven. All the things.
All the things.
Because we didn't have the interwebs. So
That is very true.
We had to use our own imagination.
Not
And
your
at that
imagination.
time, I know. We dreamt up the craziest stuff back then. You know,
Because you had to.
we had 4 wheels on roller skates. You know, I had a Pink Panther banana seat bicycle. All this because of a pirate movie, guys, because I had to track it down. There used to be this stick of gum that we get at the corner deli, and it was called Fortune gum.
Okay.
And it was a really thin, crappy piece of gum, but we didn't care because it looked like it was from Japan or China, and it had all the writings on it, and inside was your fortune, like a fortune cookie. I can't find Fortune bubblegum anywhere anymore, and if I could find it, it's probably stale as heck.
Oh, it's a piece of cardboard, I'm sure.
It was back then.
Well, I think of the gum that used to come in the baseball card packs, and even
Oh
back
my
then,
gosh.
it was a stick of cardboard, and you had to like
Great.
really work to. Sorry, I'm making a terrible face, but like really work to
eat it.
to get it to where you could possibly even chew it for a hot boiled minute.
I love that you had baseball card gum.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'm sure I must have at some point.
I still have. And then the thing is, you wanted to make sure that you got, well, because now they don't put gum in the baseball card packs.
Is it because it devalues the card?
Yes, it devalues
Okay.
the card. So that was the thing. Like you wanted to make sure, like if it was a 1980, it's a Topps 1985 pack. Great, it's 1985. I got to hurry up and open it up. I can't leave it in the pack because I got to get the gum out because it's going to stain the back of the card. That was the height of my baseball
Of your
card
baseball card
collecting. Was
collecting.
1985.
I love that you collected baseball cards. The only cards I think I ever collected were the Garbage Pail Kids. That's as far as I got with cards.
I still have all of mine.
Get out! I would love to see this collection.
I also have most of my brothers.
I would love to see this collection.
They're in my.
Find one. I'm challenging you now. Find Garbage Pail Kid cards that are bookish.
Oh
Do
boy,
they exist?
Do they exist?
Like there is a whole long list of the Pokemon bookish cards, which everybody we just posted on the shorts. But are there bookish Garbage Pail Kid cards? I wonder.
That's a fantastic question.
I love that. I mean, you had Cabbage Patch Kids, right?
I did.
We all did.
So fun fact. My great aunt. I don't even know how to. It's all my North Carolina family. I mean, at one point when I was like,
did you go to Babyland General?
No.
Okay.
But when I was 8, 9, my great-great-grandmother was still alive. She lived to 103.
Wow.
So I remember.
You've got some good genes.
Yes, they all lived on that. The Honeycutts lived forever. So
wait a minute. We have to just backtrack. Guys, did you hear, like, in her namesake is Honeycutt?
I mean, yeah, that was my grandmother's maiden name.
It's beautiful and fabulous and so MASH.
So we would go, my great-great-grandmother still lived on the farmhouse, at the farm. And so we would go there to see her, even though she wasn't mentally really with us, she was still physically with us. So we would go to see her, and like, so there were she had 11 kids.
Oh my gosh. So Grandma Honeycutt, 11 kids to 103?
Yeah. So there were always aunts and cousins, and I just knew that I was related to these people. Anyway, one of the relatives made Cabbage Patch dolls. And
my face just went, OMG, guys.
Yeah.
It was a gasp.
So whenever we would go, she had a room that was filled with all the Cabbage Patch dolls that she made. And every time we would go, I would get one. So I loved going
So you got them before they even hit Babyland General?
No, I mean, they weren't, like, the faces were soft. They weren't plastic. But they looked, like, if you looked at them, they looked just like Cabbage Patch dolls. And so I had a bunch of actual Cabbage Patch dolls, and then I had the Cabbage Patch dolls that my relative made. I have no clue where they are.
I was just going to ask, do you have any of yours? Mine have long since left. You don't know where all of yours are?
No. I have a box with, like, I have 2 boxes. One has all my Madame Alexander dolls in it.
What's a Madame Alexander?
So my other grandmother on my mom's side.
What's her last name? Because these are cool.
Moore.
Okay.
Not exciting.
The Honeycutts and the Moores.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her maiden name was Hockster.
Hockster? The Honeycutts and the Hocksters? Now that's a title.
Yeah, that's a TV show waiting to happen is what that is.
I love it.
So I don't know how to describe them. They're called Madame Alexander dolls. They're dolls that are not meant to be played with.
Oh.
They're the fancy dolls. And she did, like, there was, like, she did a whole line of Gone with the Wind dolls.
Oh,
lovely. And Wizard of Oz. And so, like, I have from Gone with the Wind, I have, like, Bonnie Blue.
Oh.
I have an Anne of Green Gables Madame Alexander doll. I have a Romeo and Juliet Madame Alexander doll.
Interesting. So you had a lot of historical and fiction and like literature already so early in your life.
Do you remember the store Jacobson's?
Not really.
Maybe that was just down here.
It might be a southern thing.
It was like a fancy, maybe it was like the Saks Fifth Avenue of the South. I don't know. It was like a fancy department store. And they sold the dolls there. They had a whole section where you bought these dolls. And I just always remember looking at them. But my grandmother had a ton of them. She kept them up on top of her closet in their little boxes. And I could take them down and look at them, but I couldn't play with them.
No.
Yeah. So
I'd want to play.
And I went, which is why my Romeo and Juliet dolls, Romeo's head doesn't always stay on.
Because you played with him?
You have to, like, mush it down, and then he looks like he doesn't have a neck.
She looks like a troll right now, people. Yeah. She was trolling it. So would you take him down and then, like, reenact Shakespeare with your dolls?
I would, yeah.
That's
cool. Like just kind of fluff the dresses, and the Scarlett O'Hara dolls were so pretty. Aww. The dresses were so pretty because they had it was all the dresses from the movie, and yeah, they're in a closet in my house along with my Shirley Temple doll that I'm pretty sure if I touched would disintegrate.
Oh wow! I feel like we should like museum this stuff in a room in your house. Are we going to remodel like your house, or are we still trying to do we're going to move?
I don't know. I think we might be staying put for a little while.
All right. So then let's get Tom his like office area, because I want to get in there. Guys, I love to home improve and design homes. Like, I do enjoy that. So Tom needs his own like office space, and I want to get in there and do that. But now I just hear we need to have like some kind of a museum of your toys.
What I want to do is completely empty out my office of everything.
Love this.
All the books, all the scrapbook stuff, everything.
I'm in.
And completely redo it.
I love organizing.
Get floor-to-ceiling bookshelves in there for all the scrapbook stuff, all the books, all the everything.
Gosh, I hope I say it right. I don't know if he's in Japan or Korea. He is this genius engineer, and I'll send you the link later. And he calls it the transformer. Let's do it in your house.
We need to do it in my house. It's my office. My office needs. Tom walked in the other day and he's like, I'm not gonna lie, it feels like a hoarder lives here. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of does, because stuff just keeps piling. And I need to find a way to better.
Some of it, though, is purging and letting go of things emotionally. Like, I used to throw away a piece of paper and then throw another piece of paper away with it so it wasn't lonely.
Part of the problem is the books. I can't let go of the books. I mean, I have all my Nancy Drew books in there from when I was a kid.
Very special.
I have all of my books from college, like all my novels, because as an English major, you read so many novels so I have 200 novels from college because they're all marked up, they're read. I can't get rid of them.
I understand the sentimental value of things. Are your Nancy Drews in really good shape? Or
most of them are in really good shape.
No mold and mildewy?
No, most of them are in really good shape.
I might have to check some out of the Rachel library.
No, mine are in pretty good shape because they stayed in my parents' house until I had Rebecca. And then my mom gave them to me. So they're in pretty good shape.
And you'll probably give those to Rebecca or your grandchildren if she has any.
Yeah. I
just throwing that out there.
I don't know if Rebecca would ever have room in an apartment for,
Someday she might have a
55
house.
Nancy Drew books, but.
Well, after I get through, I have 3 tabs in my journal because I started a page, but I didn't get finishing the book. My goal is to finish those. Then I'll check out with my Rachel library card.
The Rachel library card.
Yes. But what novels are up in your college collection?
Well, it's a lot of classical because I was you had to pick as an English major at UF, you had to pick a specialization. So you weren't just an English major. You had to specialize in early American literature.
Interesting.
Or my specialization was British literature. So I have a ton of, I have a bunch of medieval literature. So I've got I'm going to mispronounce it, I'm so sorry, Morte d'Arthur, the Legends of Arthur, all of those. Then I've got all the Jane Austens, all the Dickens.
This sounds like a perfect turn the page Tuesday 8-minute go through. If they're actually on a shelf in a line where you could just go down and just be like,
they're scattered because then I took a children's lit class. There's all the children's literature.
That's exciting.
And then I took a 1950s American literature class. That was an awesome class. So you got the Sylvia Plath and the J.D. Salinger. Yeah, there's a lot. It's so funny when I look back on it. I'm like, I read all of these books in 2 years.
That's insane. That's more than I think what you're doing in your journal right now.
It was an insane, and working full time.
So guys,
how was I functioning? I don't know. I know. I was 19.
Oh, 19, and you had Fountain Diet Coke every.
No, at that point it was Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
It was all the Mountain Dew.
That's right. We talked about Mountain Dew no-dos.
Oh God, the thought of drinking Mountain Dew right now, just the amount of sugar. I'm so old.
There's still more sugar in ginger ale than Mountain Dew.
Is there really?
Yeah, some kid did it as a science fair project, and it opened my eyes. And there's more sugar in the ginger ale. And I'm like, how does that work for your upset stomach?
Right?
I don't understand that logic, but now I just don't even care.
I need to go look at the thing.
I know. But guys, that's what makes this Building and Coffee Show so special, is that we actually have an English teacher. I'm going to have to just roll old school with that, language arts. I mean, what is your actual title?
middle school language arts teacher is my actual title right now, but I've taught everything 6 to 12.
What's on the certificate on your bachelor's? It says.
Oh, my bachelor's is bachelor's in English.
Right. So we have an actual English major.
Yes.
Who's insanely in love with books since she was a tiny person.
But she took a 6-month break after she graduated from college and read nothing.
Yeah, well, after what you just said, your college classes were with your focus in British literature is interesting.
It was so funny because I graduated in May. I had a job interview for my first teaching job at the end of July. And one of the questions the principal asked was, what was the last book you read? And I had not read anything all summer because I just wanted to just sit and watch crappy TV. I wanted to
your brain dead yourself for a minute.
Exactly. So I literally stared at him and said, I haven't read anything since the beginning of May, and I don't have the intention of reading anything again for another 3 months.
It was your honesty that got you the job.
I think it was desperation on his part. School was starting in 2 weeks, and he needed a dropout prevention teacher. And I looked like a good victim
for that.
So, because they told me at the end of the year, because I had nothing, I had 6 dropout these were all 9th graders who were 17 and 18 years old. I was 21.
Wow.
So I was not that much older than them. And they told me at the end, I said, can I just have 2 normal classes next year? Can I just, please? And they said, oh, we're going to give you all normal classes because you survived.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, so this was a test?
They put you in the gauntlet.
They said anybody who survived that schedule deserves to come out of that schedule. I was like, woohoo. May the odds be ever in your favor. Welcome to teaching.
That's exactly what that was. That's awesome. That's a great short story.
I don't know about that. It was a moment.
It was that short that it was a moment.
It was a moment. I remember having my first observation. The principal comes in to watch. She was sitting at my desk. A student came charging in, screaming at me because I had written her up for skipping. She wouldn't stop yelling at me. She wouldn't leave. This is all during my formal observation.
That's amazing. Did you just let her air it out?
I just said, we're going to talk about it later. We're going to talk about it later. I promise we'll talk about it later. She just kept screaming and cussing me. The principal never moved. And I said, I'm going to ask you to leave the room. I'll meet you in discipline after class. And the principal told me after, he goes, I was about to stand up and say something, but I didn't want to take away your power.
Right.
She clearly didn't know I was in the room.
Because she was hot.
I wanted you to, and I appreciated that. But as soon as the class left, before I went to discipline, I literally remember falling against the wall and sliding down to the floor and just crying.
Oh, poor Rachel.
I'm going to get fired. I'm literally going to get fired. Little did I know.
Gosh, when we were young.
They couldn't fire me because they needed me.
Right.
They needed me way more.
Right.
So, yeah, that was my first observation. Oh my gosh, I haven't thought about that in a while.
But that's when you realize that you learn they need you. They need us. Teachers are needable.
I didn't figure that out until the end of the year when they said you survived.
Correct.
I was like, I could have literally graffitied my chalkboard, because yes, it was a chalkboard. I could have literally graffitied my chalkboard and you all wouldn't have fired me. Like, you were so desperate. Here's this 21-year-old foolish little girl desperately needs a paycheck.
Oh my goodness. You survived.
That's all right. That's okay. There's fun times.
It sounds like it. I'm trying to think, what was I doing at 19? Gosh, guys, I think I was getting married at that time to my first husband.
No, I mean, I was 21 at the time.
I have to think. All right, what was I doing at 21? I think that was theme park days. I don't know anymore. sometimes time is everything and then time is nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Is how I feel. So where are you on poetry? I'm just thinking.
I dislike poetry immensely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm curious only because when we get into talking books, which is probably a good segue into it, I just completed a poetry book.
Okay.
And I was like, I wonder, does Rachel read poetry? How does she feel about it?
I dislike it. I dislike teaching it.
I know. And why? All these reasons.
Feelings. Why? It's all feelings. It's all, how do you feel about this? This is the way I like concrete things.
I need more coffee while I'm listening. So I raised my hand. I was looking to see if they had any cookies up there. I want a cookie, but I don't see any cookies.
No, I need concrete. This is what it is.
Got it.
I don't like. I do like figurative language, but I don't like it in poetry. I think it's, I don't know. And maybe it's because I have to teach it. And the kids don't understand it.
So,
and I feel their frustration.
Is there like a time period that you have to teach in poetry, or are you allowed to go everywhere?
Not anymore. I'm not allowed to go anywhere. I mean, everywhere. Once upon a time I was, but now there's very specific poems that you can and cannot teach. So I stick with what the state of Florida says we're allowed to teach because I like my job.
Oh.
And I won't veer from that.
But if you could choose, where would you go?
So I really like Emily Dickinson because she's so dark. I enjoy her work.
It's just, may I have more coffee, please?
My brother loved poetry, so I have a couple books that he marked up and that he taught and all of that. So
let's backtrack. You just said that he taught. So he also was a language arts teacher, or where did he have education?
Yeah, so he was also an English major, and he wrote. He taught.
Gracias.
Merci. He taught high school for several years, and English in high school. And then he went on to teach creative writing at the college level.
Okay.
So
the two of you, in a perfect world, would have opened a school of literature for all ages.
I don't know if we were cut out to open a school or run a school or anything like that. I can say for certain I wasn't. No, administration's not my jam.
Yeah, but you hire the admin for that. Or maybe it was your magical bookstore had the magical school.
Maybe we just have magical book classes.
All
maybe
right.
that's all we do.
Yes, that would be fun.
We just have magical book classes. So before we jump in and talk about all the things that we have read or have not read, I want to ask, so you were asking about my book journal, and you were saying like maybe 300 pages was too much?
Yes.
So this is this year's book journal. I am right now at April. I am concerned I'm going to run out of pages this year.
So I ordered from the Amazon this was my thing because I saw some really nice book journals. I've been on the book journal search for next year because I'm finding I want to add more pages. I want to double big spread and talk now more. Which, thank you. You've inspired many positive things in my life.
As have you.
So my concern is not having enough pages. Mine is the smaller book. Yours is the bigger book.
Right.
And I want the bigger book. And because you do yours annually, I don't think, at least I could be wrong, but right now I feel like mine is just a living book until it's full and then new books start over whenever. But I found a really pretty book and the pages are thick so you don't have to bleed through.
That's important.
However, it's only 196 pages. And I was like, is that enough? And it's not quite this size. It's like 7 by 10. So it's like between these two.
Okay.
Regardless, I mean, whatever. So I didn't order that one. I went on the Amazon and I did more research and I ordered 2 books that were 300 pages. And they have 4.5-star reviews. I ordered the 2 sizes so I could see what that is, which is that size and then the one in between ours. I want one that's probably your size, but this long.
Okay.
I don't know what size book, if that exists in a book journal with a bullet journal or not. I can't seem to find that, but it's the bleed through is my concern, and it's mixed reviews. So whatever, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But I see this is not enough pages.
This is, because like I said, this is April.
So we're looking at Rachel's yearly book journal for 2025. We are only just
I'm going to run out of pages.
in April.
I'm going to
and
have to get a second.
This is not enough.
Yeah. It's clearly not enough.
Wow.
I didn't think this was going to be a problem because
Your other book wasn't.
I probably had like this much left over
Right.
last year. So
What do you think the difference is? What did you add in more?
I
of?
added in these 2 pages. I added this in last year, but only halfway through. I think the first time I did this was July.
Okay, that we were looking at the April, like the reading
stats for April, and then I added in this to each month where I've got my calendar of what I'm reading, my book of the month, just kind of a chance for me to kind of scrapbook a little bit more.
Mhm.
But then I also added in more pages here, like because I ran out of pages last year for my
Right.
bookshelf and I added in a book bracket. I added in more pages to my read. I added in,
As I look at this still makes me think the choices that I made on the Amazon may be incorrect. Because the scrapbooking opportunity, because you have more pages in a bigger book, that's kind of what I want, is more opportunity to be creative.
and that's what I wanted. I wanted a chance to, like, and even like that, like I have a whole extra page that, because the way the month ended, it was an odd month, so I just added in a page of kind of junk. Like, I want to use these stickers. I want to use this paper. So
on Etsy, they don't have the pages that are with the bullets, and I'm wondering if I should just not do that, because if I go scrapbooking, then I can just write on a lined paper and glue it in.
yeah,
But they have the leather books that they make, and you can customize the size, obviously the leather, the ties, the clips, and then you can always add more pages easily, because you can just order from them extra inserts. So I'm wondering if that's not the way I should go, is just have it that way. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I have to have the dots just because it helps me, do the calendars and just helps me organize. And because I'm notorious, I write at an angle.
Yes.
So if I don't have lines or dots, I write downhill, and it all just falls downhill. So at least this way, it stays in line. It stays in line. But I'm definitely going to run out of room.
Yes. This is all my concerns.
Yeah, I realized that when I was doing this part of April and setting this up, I'm like, oh my, I'm going to run out of room.
And then if you add that size book, and it's a 300-page book of that size, like, how is the lay flat should be fine, but the chunk, right, the thickness, will it be able to accommodate the thickness without tearing the spine apart?
Yeah, we'll see. We're about to find out. So last year, and it's not too bad this year, but last year, writing on, and by the time I get here, it's hard to write on this page because of all the book stickers.
Yes.
And it kind of folds, and I have to make sure that I move this over, or else it starts to curl right here.
So basically what I think I'm seeing here is like problem solved, because I'm having the same issue, is how you used to fold autograph book pages, but the one would have to be here, and then on the next one it has to be here, and on the next one it has to be here, because then when it lays flat, it lays into the surface.
But then my OCD kicks in, because then every page doesn't have the same organization.
But it's just a new way of organizing.
I have to have everything look the same.
I understand.
Because I have issues. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, part of me loves the way, like, hey, look at all I've done. Like, look at all I've written.
I
and
can't
created.
believe that
That's
in
awesome.
this many months.
But then you look at you and like the same thing, like the fact that it's bulging. I love a bulging journal
Sure.
because that means like it's coming out.
We're doing stuff.
Yeah.
We're doing stuff. I don't even know how many pages this one was. I just bought it at Office Depot.
That's where I bought mine.
It was the only place that they had it where I could see it. But at least with Amazon, we can send it all back, friends. We can send it all back. So the red tabs are the books that I started and I need to go finish the page. And I'm going to do that before I move on. Bum, bum, bum. Let's start with, because this is going to be short because I only got 2. The Gollum and the Genie is what my current read is, and it's audio.
And it's long.
It is so long, but it's so good. I can't not listen to it. And I'm not even going to talk about it because there's a lot.
This is Welcome to Night Vale. It's the PTA Meeting by Joseph Fink. It's a science fiction fictional podcast. This quote is interesting. Backpacks, are they causing autism?
All the quotes on this is absolutely interesting and crazy. So I did this one on April Fool's Day.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. It was not planned. It just happened to be that way. And I don't even know if my review is a review or if it's just a recap of its craziness.
I feel like all of these episodes are somehow crazy.
Well, I feel like this was pretty accurate of a PTA meeting. A portal rips open.
a dinosaur attack?
Yeah, came out of a portal during the PTA meeting.
Oh, that could actually make the PTA meeting interesting.
My favorite is it happened during an argument. So I'm wondering if it was because the parents were arguing and they summoned a portal. They don't say that. I'm just led to believe that's exactly what happened. Because at a PTA meeting, of course one parent's going to tell another parent, your child's a little tubby, stop feeding him. And then they get into like a fist fight and then the dinosaurs bust in. Sounds correct.
Are we safe from dinosaurs?
We don't know. Through this whole entire story, there's a dinosaur on the loose. They try to contain as many dinosaurs as they could.
Apparently, though, wearing sunscreen in a bathroom will help if you encounter a dinosaur.
That fact was never proven in the story. They just said it was hearsay. It was not proven. Although I don't know.
It's very interesting hearsay. I mean,
yeah. But on sunscreen, get in the bathroom. T-Rex will not touch you.
Sweet.
That's how they said it.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This universe is
highly insane.
This poor town.
Highly insane.
Okay.
Yep. And that's what I said. I'm pretty sad. It's stupid and ridiculous.
Yeah. Stupid, ridiculous.
All of it.
Genius.
Because it full circles. And the final quote, are we safe? Right? No way. That's exactly what he says. He goes, are we safe from dinosaurs? He goes, no way. Skip that one. The next book, because we're not there yet. Like my book stuff is extraordinarily short today. But this is why I asked about poetry.
Okay. Scrambled Eggs and Whiskey by Hayden Caruth.
Sure. We'll say that's his name. I don't know.
It's poetry. You only gave it 3.
I did. I only gave it 3 stars. I was on a roll. I was loving this. And then I asked you about poetry because I thought perhaps you'd want to read it, but now I know how you feel. The answer is no. But as soon as you see where my orange tabby is, it takes a dark turn.
Oh, almost like exactly halfway.
Yep. And so our friend who's writing this, Hayden, he was born in 1921.
Is that a self-portrait on the back?
That is a self-portrait of him on the back. 1921. He lives in upstate New York. And then I don't understand why, and I'm not sure if you want the book from last week.
I'll take my brother's book.
Because that one is interesting. It's different. Because it aligns a little bit more in my brother's book with the type of literature that you actually studied in college.
Yes.
And it's a really quick read. This is intense. I loved it. The vocabulary words it gave me, beautiful. Lots of vocab words I have never seen before. We'll make a video about those. But I'm on this amazing journey throughout the United States, like a road trip, and then all of a sudden it's like a switch, and he realizes he's not going to live much longer, and he's writing his final poetry.
Oh.
And then there's 2 sections in here. One is really, really dark, and it's called Camps.
Okay.
And it is exactly what you think it is as far as camps in Auschwitz, Sobibor, and so on. And this one little verse, for a second after the sweep of bullets, he looked at himself cut in half.
Oh.
And the dark turn happens from Camps all the way on. And everything is, and I don't understand why we took such a hard turn that way. But this is the final, this whole section of Camps are final thoughts of people in camps. Their final thoughts after being somehow killed or not killed. Like, you ready? Guys, we're going to get super dark on this one, and then we're just going to let this rest because we missed some books on yours. Sometimes children become playthings. A bit of their intestines is pulled out and handed to them to see what they will do with it.
Oh.
That's it. That's the little poem.
Oh.
In Camps, bringing to light the horrors of what a human may be thinking.
Yeah.
Now, the very last poem is titled Scrambled Eggs and Whiskey, and it's a tribute to what I'm guessing are his best friends in life. And there's the beginning is wonderful, and it's beautiful, and it's descriptive, and it's humorous, and then all of a sudden I'm like, where the hell did we go in this book? So I enjoy reading poetry. I do. So you can read the quotes that I wrote in there because they're a little happier.
Let the reader to induce a change. Would I write it if I could? Bet your glitzy ass I would.
I like that, the word glitzy. It was good.
Glitzy's a great word. Oh, so this was another pickup from the library pile.
Yeah. Yeah. And I assume this was in the upstate New York library because he's from or lived in upstate New York for a very long period of time. But there it is. That's his poetry collection from 91 to 95.
And it's him traveling across the country.
That's why it only got 3 stars. I was happy. It's like, this is great. And then all of a sudden we went to that, and I was like, whoa, you took my mood and you dropped me off the Empire State Building. I was not expecting it to go sideways like that.
A beautiful road trip, but near the end it gets heavy and dark.
Yeah, that was it. I was like, oh, road trip over.
What are your feelings on compare or put the entire book of poetry and the self-portrait of the author together? What feelings does that evoke? Does that change anything about the way you felt about the end of the book of poetry?
I believe that the way that I was reading this, that I was reading a very young soul. I didn't really read about the author until the end of the book. So I thought I was reading poetry 1991 to 1995 of a current young man.
Okay.
Because the writing is written that way. I didn't feel like I was reading some old-timey dude from 1921 at all. I felt very modernized, and that's what I enjoyed about the poetry. And I don't know if why not? We always talk about people have old souls.
Yeah.
I feel like this old man had such a young, naivete soul.
Okay.
That's how, after I looked at it, I was not expecting this to be the picture. How interesting. It was a great question. My up-and-comings, you already know. Yep. The genie and the golem, that's going to be my one big up-and-coming. So let's get to you because we do have...
I don't remember where we left off.
We did not get to one of them.
Did you not do Wings of Fire?
I don't think so. No, we ended here because that was brilliant.
Honestly, and we can probably skip the Wings of Fire. This is a YA graphic novel that my nephew gave me.
How lovely. We love this. So just let's at least tell everybody the YA graphic novel stats at the top.
Okay,
Title.
so this is The Wings of Fire. It is by Tui T. Sutherland. It is, The Wings of Fire is a YA book series that then was turned into graphic novel. So there's an actual written novel series, and then there's the graphic novel series. So it's published by Scholastic. I gave it 3 stars. I mean,
Well, we're just going to talk. Let me ask you a couple quick questions.
Okay.
Like, who's your favorite character and why? Because if people are going to pick this up for kids and be like, oh, my kid might want to read it, like, is the dragon cool or not?
The dragons are cool.
So what's frustrating? Like, what do you find frustrating?
That I didn't, and I said this in here, I don't know if it was because I never read the novel and I was just getting into the graphic novel. I don't know, like there were all these different kinds of dragons.
So if you really love dragons and you have a knowledge base of dragons.
But I didn't understand, like all the dragons apparently had like personality, like this is what these type of dragons do, this is what these type of dragons do, and I didn't understand, like I was very confused, like why do these dragons, why do these two dragons not like each other? I don't understand. So I didn't understand the powers that the different types of dragons had.
And the artwork didn't help tell that part of the
Not
story.
really,
And
no.
I find that happens a lot as a graphic novel reader. If I've read the actual novel, that it gets lost in translation when you try to convert it. I think it works better the other way around.
And that's what I actually did. I wrote it in there. If I had maybe read the actual book, I would understand.
And that's what you would have done differently.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, do you recommend this book for anybody for YA that have kids?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you've got a 5th, 6th grader, this is a great way to get them into reading. If you've got a struggling reader, this is a good jump in. There's nothing extremely difficult in the reading here, and you could get them to read a 200-page graphic novel.
Then that's a win.
And it's colorful. It is very colorful.
Great.
So
that's a lovely review for a YA 5th grade.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah.
As an adult, I'm going to assume, and a language arts teacher, the 3 stars come into play for multiple reasons, but not for any other reason that would dissuade someone from getting it for their
not
children.
At all. I think this is like 4th through 6th grade.
Perfect.
This is your type of book.
I've got some
that's what I
nieces
would
and
say.
nephews also that may enjoy
And
this.
there's like 8 of them.
Aww,
and they're all graphic
colorful.
novels, and they're very color. All the dragons are different colors. Some dragons change colors.
And if you can't get them the physical book, look and see if this one's on Kindle. Lots of graphic novels are on Kindle, and for kids, that's even better to encourage them to read.
Yes. So, yep, that was that one.
Great.
My nephew gave it to me. So,
thank you, nephew.
Yes.
All right, and then we're looking at this beautiful 2-page spread.
Well, this is just
fun
I have a waste of a page. I didn't know what to put here, so
I
that's
love
what
it.
I put.
Scrapbooking. Okay, so the title, None of This is True. Author, Lisa Jewell. Kindle, a thriller, 376 pages. Atria?
I've read from them before.
Okay.
Didn't realize it until I...
Well, bam, a 5-star rating. I love this little sticker and then these little after it. So we are in another thriller.
Which I think this year I'm in my thriller era.
I love that.
I can read a thriller in 2 days. It's just like
Your thing.
it is clearly my thing. I can get through it. This is from the library, but on Libby, so it was borrowed. It was a borrowed Kindle book. I didn't realize that 2 years ago I'd listened to another book by the same author, a thriller, and I loved it. So this was the last 50% of this book. I could not swipe fast enough. I was up until probably 2:30 in the morning because I wanted to know how it ended. This was disturbing.
Well, it says here, I'm seeing the quotes has a lot to do with a child. What age is the child?
At the time that the story takes place, 19 and 21.
Okay. So those are young adults.
Yes.
But we're referred to as a child because of the narcissism that I'm reading about, and they're very immature for their age? Or they know exactly
One
what's
child is
happening?
special needs,
Okay.
but they are both adults and have adult intellect. There are 2 children in the book, but they're just kind of peripheral characters. They're not really integral to the story at all.
I love the quote. Instead, she's trapped in a gothic, tick-talking, slow burn nightmare.
That is the best way to describe how Alex, one of the main, the I don't know what.
And I like how they spelled her name Alix.
Mhm.
I really like that.
That's what she goes by the time you got to that 50% point, that's when you realize, oh my God. And that's where you're really stuck in that kind of gothic nightmare.
That quote with the review that you wrote, where it says that you pretty much were hanging over half the time. It was disturbing, insane. You couldn't put it down, pretty much drooling over this book. And because like frothing at the mouth to find out how it ends. And when it ends, the title makes so much sense that none of this is true and is a must read with 5 stars.
This was my book of the month.
This makes me want to pick it up. What made you pick it up?
It popped up on my Libby recommended. Like it was just there in my, and I think I requested to borrow this like 6 weeks ago, and it just popped up because I was going to read, my next book was going to read Don't Let the Coffee Get Cold.
Yes.
Which I've got 50 more pages on. I'm almost done. But so I was going to read that next, but this popped up. I'm like, oh, this is due in 10 days. I'll go ahead and read this one first because I knew it was a thriller. I could probably get through it pretty quickly. And then I realized I'd read something else by her, and chef's kiss.
Wow. So
yeah.
What do you love about the style of writing?
It's fast paced.
Okay. She knows how to.
There's not a lot of repetition. There's not a lot of wasted space. I'm gonna go. I've got stuff.
How many like favorite characters? 1, 2. Any favorite characters, or are these characters love to hate?
No, I think Alex. I felt for her. I don't know if I would call her favorite, but I felt for her. I think the 21-year-old daughter at the end, you don't really, without giving anything away, you don't ever really hear from her until like the last 75% of the book, but she's always there.
Wow.
She's always there.
Quiet ones you got to watch out for it. So is there a powerful scene connected to that, or did that?
Yes. So it's written differently because it's all about a podcast. Alex is a podcaster, and she is recording this podcast with this woman, and but it's a podcast, but it's also a Netflix documentary. So it's interspersed with, here's the actual story and traditional prose, and then we're going to insert, the script of an interview from the Netflix documentary. So there's a part where the two sisters are sitting down together, and you're hearing, I'm going to put this in air quotes, the truth. And it's like the wind, like the breath got sucked out of me when I was reading it. I was like, oh, I knew it.
Is this inspired on the twin girls who are doing the directing podcasting from Only Murders in the Building?
Nope.
I feel like it could have been. I love that that's happenstance. Interesting. Anything that stood out, big theme or idea? Can't tell because that's the whole point of the book.
That's the whole point.
Got it. Guys, read the book. It's 5
about,
stars.
it is literally about what is truth. What is your truth? And what is your definition of truth?
So did it make you think differently about anything?
What makes us believe one person's story and not another?
Wow, there's always 3 sides to the truth. Yours, mine, and the actual event. Perception is everything.
That is definitely the message that you are left with at the end of this book.
I live by that. I live by there's 3 sides to the truth.
That is literally, you think everything's fine, and then you hit the epilogue, and you're like, that's why the title is None of This Is True.
How does it compare to the other book that you engaged with?
Very similar, as far as a fast-paced thriller that deals with family.
No plot holes or things that didn't make sense. It was pretty clean cut. I'm not going to ask about the cover art. I mean, it looks like it is written in, because it's podcasting. So when you see the cover art, it looks like white noise. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's written in
And
white
it's
noise.
got little, so it takes place in London. So it's the little townhouses that people live in London
with the white noise above,
Yeah.
which is the radio waves for people who don't know what white noise is. So let's just do one weird-ass question for this book, only because it is a 5-star, so I really don't think that we need to go too far with this. But if the villain had to survive a modern-day corporate office job, what role would they have?
The janitor.
Whoa! Yes. Yes. I love it.
I need everyone to read this. So
So we can talk about the janitor, and we're gonna. I mean, obviously, you recommend the book. You said
100%.
And are you going to read more from this author?
Yes.
Perfect.
Already on my TBR list.
I love that. So, guys, we're turning, because she says that this is going to be, this is April's book of the month?
This is March's
book of the month. So stay tuned, because it is a video coming, guys.
I will make a video.
Right. You'll get it eventually, guys.
March was a tough decision for me. So
Oh.
I will talk about that in the video.
I'm excited to watch the video.
Yeah.
Everybody probably thinks that, like, I'm there filming you doing this. No, I watch it later. We watch each other's videos later, guys, which is hilarious. Next book. Oh, okay. This is very, very beautiful. I love the colors that you did here, the color palette on your page. The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. Audio, romanticy, 498, self-published, and the 2-star rating comes right behind the self-published. Who narrated this?
It's the I forget.
Great. Was the voice cool or no?
Yeah, the voice wasn't the problem. So this is the 3rd book in a series, the Crowns of Nexia series.
So now we know why you picked up the book, because you're serious.
That's why it was the 3rd book, and I thought it was the last book. Apparently it's not. There's a 4th book coming out this year.
No.
So I will read that.
Great.
So the first 2 books in the series were about, it's all about vampires. The first, 2.5 books in the series, because there's a 0.5 in there that was not necessary. All focus around 2 main characters. And the main character of The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, Misha, was a secondary character. Like, she was the king's best friend. So this is her running away because she runs away. And in this book, this takes up, she somehow ends up traveling in a journey to the underworld with another would-be king. And it just felt played out. Like, I got it. How many times do I have to read the journey of someone traveling to the underworld to find redemption?
Based on reading the quotes, I understand when you say the first word in your review, meh.
Yeah.
Because the quotes are that way as well. Very...
I felt that reading, listening to and I always question whenever I come away with, I really enjoyed them. I think I gave 3 and 4 stars to the first 2 books. I did. And then I got to this one, and I was expecting, and I think if this had been a standalone, I would have DNF'd it.
Oh, like...
Yeah.
Bree Tanner's novella.
Yeah, and then
I enjoyed that.
But then I always question, would I have enjoyed it more if I had read it instead of listened to it?
Because you have someone else's inflection guiding you.
I'm not going to go back and read it. It wasn't good enough, but I think at most, it's a played out trope. It's a played out, I ran away, I have to go all the way through the 7 layers of hell to get to whatever our goal is. And then, of course, it doesn't actually work out because there's going to be a 4th book. So
this sounds like a good candidate of a series that should have gone straight to graphic novel, especially vampires, to give you some more.
Honestly, this could have been a 0.5. instead of a 498-page book, this could have been.
So you can half shade in a star.
This could be a 120-page book.
Yeah.
Get me to the end, which is the stepping point to the final book.
Right.
All of that for the last 10 pages, which is the stepping point. Literally, I didn't realize there's a fourth book until the last 10 pages or the last 45 minutes.
Which this also sounds like it could be an extraction of all the other, like the edits that came out. And they're like, that is a lot of edits we took out. Let's just do a book. But you're saying they could have just added those 10 pages to the prior book.
Yeah, I mean, I like the character, Misha. I liked her in the first two books.
That's what you said.
She's a great character. She really is. In this dark vampire world, she's a light vampire, literally. And I just keep coming back to the meh.
So, I mean, we've answered most of the questions that we do when we interview the book as far as your favorite character, what you found frustrating. We know all the things. Anything memorable or powerful? Just the pages that bridge the two.
Yeah. The last 10 pages. That's really it.
You thought they'd done differently? Not the book.
No. Same one formulaic sex scene.
Now, did you listen to the prior books?
No.
Or you actually read the prior books?
I read the prior books.
So that definitely,
that's why that's why I questioned would I have enjoyed it more if I had actually read it.
So I'm going to rapid fire because this sounds like a good one. If this book had a smell, what would it be?
Sulfur.
Who in this book's two raccoons in a trench coat? So bad we can't even do rapid questions, guys. It's only 1.5, no chaos round.
Alexia.
If the villain had therapy, would they still be a villain?
Absolutely.
Who's going to get scammed by the prince in Nigeria?
Misha.
Oh, poor girl. If you had to fist fight a character in a Walmart parking lot at 3 a.m.?
Nexia.
Who? What's the most chaotic way this could have ended?
They're trapped in the underworld wandering forever with no way out.
Because the books would just keep going and
going, like I'm just going in a spiral, like I'm in Dante's Inferno here.
If aliens found this as their only record of humanity, they would say,
why did these people want to read about vampires and what's the obsession with blood?
Rename the book 5 words or less.
No.
This one, do it in 1 word, maybe 2.
Should have been 100 pages.
Perfect. And with that, we're moving into the answer is no.
Okay, so
another 5 star.
We went from
to
absolute light and laughter. You have got to listen to this book.
Oh, you audioed.
This is an audio. You have to listen to this book.
Oh, it's a short story.
It's a short story. It was 2 hours. Please listen to it. I laughed out loud so many times. I feel like this is right up a David Sedaris fan's alley.
Who's reading this?
I forget.
Great.
A woman. It's actually, the answer is no. It's by Fredrik Backman. It's a translation because Fredrik Backman is Swedish and writes in Swedish.
I love that we're finding lots of translations.
Yeah. I've read The Man Called Ove, which was turned into a movie with Tom Hanks.
I just need to interject, guys.
I saw him coming out of the corner of my eye for more coffee.
Yeah, me too. More coffee.
I do have to go to work.
I know you do. This is only $1.99 right now on Audible.
Yes. I think I got it when it was on sale for free. Which is why
Perfect. It's my next.
Please just enjoy it because it is
it
is ridiculous.
Love it.
It is funny.
Okay.
It is at times thought-provoking. All in 2 hours. I love, especially because I came from this.
Guys, it's either free or $1.99. Contemporary fiction, audio, 68 pages, an Amazon original story with a 5-star rating.
Yes.
Why'd you pick this up?
So I met my wonderful friend Carmen for breakfast, and we always talk about books, and we were talking about who we were reading, and she brought up Fredrik Backman, that she'd read another one of his books, but she said there's an audio that you have to listen to. So I immediately grabbed it, and I was in the middle of this, the Songbird and the Heart of Stone, and so this was like such a palate cleanser.
Wow.
Because it was, and maybe it would have only been 4-star, but I don't think so. I think
Have you read anything else from him?
Yes, I've read The Man Called Ove, which
Okay.
isn't quite it's not the humor, because there's a sad piece to that.
Okay.
But apparently he's written, I forget the name of it, he's written a series of books that's now a show on HBO. So that's on my TBR now. I think it's called The Bear Hunt or something. It's not Bear like the show with cooking. It's not that. Bear Country. It's called Bear Country. Anyway, and it's a series. So that's on my TBR list. But this it was just...
Well, Carmen, hope to see you at book club. Make sure you register for Society. And I'll listen to this while I mow the lawn this morning when I get back.
You will be laughing. Your neighbors will think you are crazy because you're...
So when you first started listening, what were your thoughts?
I was like, okay, this is just another loner guy, and I'm going to hear all about how he's a loner and he comes out of his shell. That's what I thought. And then it immediately went when they started talking about pad thai. And should pad thai have peanuts or not?
Oh, that's like my Jell-O conversation.
So that's why if you look at the cover, there's a to-go bag of pad thai.
I love the cover. I just think it's well thought out. I like the color palette. I like everything about it. It looks like it's a janky highlighter that wrote things.
It takes place, the entire short story takes place in an apartment building.
At what country and or?
Sweden.
Oh, yay, I get to highlight
that
so you get to
on
highlight,
my world map. I did. I got to highlight Sweden.
Wow. So guys, if you're doing the world map in your journal, this is definitely for free or $1.99. And it's a 5-star. And it's such a good listen. So who's your favorite character and why? He works well in groups as long as the groups are fewer than 2 people.
Yeah, I think Lucas, the main character, is probably my favorite, just because he's like the only sane one. Maybe the lady in the purple dress. I'm gonna go with Lucas.
The review says funny, quotable, relatable, no notes. I love that.
There were too many good quotes.
Okay, perfect.
There were too many good quotes. I couldn't, there was nothing to put in a review because it was so quotable.
No characters that you couldn't like or you didn't like? Or you had to still have one that you're like,
just so ridiculous.
All right.
I mean, it is.
So this is your Night Vale.
The three-headed board. You'll understand what I'm saying when you read it. The three-headed board is just so preposterous and so ridiculous. You want to be frustrated with them. Like you want to...
This recommendation came from Carmen?
My friend Carmen. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm finding our common thread here. So Carmen, obviously we all need to talk because you're finding some weirdy books.
It's not. When I say I don't...
I
understand when you...
Got it. I have to...
It's so ridiculous. And you want to be... It's frustrating, but it's so ridiculous. Like, you can't help but laugh.
I'm definitely immediately doing that. Did this book, make you think differently about anything in life?
I don't think I ever want to live in a big city apartment building with a board. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to, and I want to avoid a pile that turns into a hill.
Okay, guys, we have to listen to it to know what she's talking about clearly, but she's got a big smile on her face, which means we have to do this. I'd ask if there's a quote or passage that stuck with you, but this is a whole freaking book. Anything you do different?
No, this is perfect. This is perfect.
That's a rare gem. I have a feeling this is going to be, the free $1.99 is going to wind up being April's book of the month. I have a feeling on that. That's tough because we've already got 2 5-star books this month.
No.
Isn't that one?
No,
never mind.
March.
This is the first one. All right. Yeah. I'm going to predict using my psychic powers. You're welcome. Thank you, Cleo, for inspiring my power. That this will be the book of the month for April. We'll see if that actually happens. What genre is this? Contemporary fiction? How do you? The question is, does this compare to any other? How do you compare to other this genre? Because I feel like your other contemporary fictions compared to this do not get that reaction.
This is just really funny. There's contemporary fiction that's serious. There's contemporary fiction that's lighthearted. To me, it was so ridiculous. It was funny.
I love it.
And that's why I loved it. Because it was like, literally, you're just like, as it progresses, you're like, like, again, I feel like this could have been like a David Sedaris essay.
Which is amazing. So if this book was an 80s power ballad, what would the title be? How about I retract that? Unless you actually have an answer.
No, I don't.
All right. If you could add a completely unnecessary dragon to this story, where would you put it? Because it's not the other one that we read.
On top of the hill.
Yes.
That's easy. That is so easy. On top of the hill.
I can't wait so I can do that. Would you recommend this book?
Absolutely.
And who do you think's going to enjoy it the most?
Anyone who needs a laugh, anyone who's like in a rut of reading or a rut of listening, and you just need like a 2-hour pick-me-up to put a smile on your face, it's this. 100%.
If it was adapted into a movie, TV show, or a comedy sketch on stage, who are you casting?
So for the main character, Lucas, it would be, what's his name? Zendaya's fiance. He plays Spider-Man. Little British boy.
I love all those words.
Tom Holland. Otherwise known as Zendaya's fiance. 100%. He would be so perfect for this role.
Zendaya, if you're listening, do it, girl. Please. I love that. Will you read more from this author?
100%.
Okay. And really, I think at this point, we're at the what's up and coming.
So I am finishing up Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which you read. I've got 50 more pages. Beautiful. I had a feeling the way this last 50 pages was going. So I decided to pause reading it last night because I didn't want to go to bed crying. So I could be wrong, but that's how I felt. I am currently listening to the Au Pair Affair, which is it's a romance by Tessa Bailey. It was one that I must have put a hold on at the library, and it finally came open. So I was like, well, let's go ahead and read this one, or listen to this one. So that's what I'm listening to right now. And then my next up, which I should start this weekend, is the Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins.
Oh, interesting.
It's in the Hunger Games series.
Yes,
so
I saw that pop up somewhere.
So it's Hamish's story. So my nephew and I went to the bookstore and we each bought it, and so we're both going to start reading it this week. So that's up and coming. That's
now,
the plan.
On your aspiring TBR,
yes.
And I say aspiring because you don't always stick to this plan that's in your journal.
Nope.
Which you did just say, Sunrise on the Reaping, The Bones Beneath My Skin.
Which was on my TBR last month and I didn't get to, so I put it towards the top.
The Last Bookstore on Earth? I haven't seen this title.
It's a YA book. I picked it up at, I think I picked it up at BJ's when I was grocery shopping.
Wow.
It was like on their discount table, so it looked interesting, so I grabbed it.
Can't wait. More to come on the BJ's book. Babylonia?
Babylonia.
Oh, okay. There's a space there.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's all one word.
It's Babylonia, guys.
That was a book that I purchased at the Full Circle bookstore in Oklahoma City. It was one that I saw on TikTok before I gave up TikTok for Lent. So I'm trying to knock that out.
Okay. The Strawberry Pancake House.
So
author reading you went to.
Yes, Lori Gilmore. I think it's the 4th book in the series. I've only read the 1st book in the series,
but you can read them out of order.
Supposedly you can read them out of order. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that one out.
Wendy's Ever After.
So that is an arc. And it is about grown-up Wendy from Peter Pan having to go back to Neverland and find her happily ever after.
Sounds very enticing, actually.
Yes. So that's an arc that's from Edelweiss.
Interesting, because it seems like the ones that I've been hearing lately on arcs are ones I'd want to get into now. Yeah. But I'm not going to be an arc reader, guys. It's not who I am. That's who Rachel is. Austin at Sea.
Also an arc. That is actually my first audio arc that I've been approved for.
Yay.
So it's the story of two sisters who absolutely love Jane Austen, and they're traveling, and it's set in the late 1800s. They're traveling from America to England to try to explore their love of Jane Austen. So,
wow.
And I love Jane Austen, so I thought, why not? Whether or not this happens, I can't tell you, but at least there's a plan.
They're right, and everybody who's listening also has some titles that they can go research on their own. So I'm very curious about The Last Bookstore on Earth. Definitely check back with that.
Yeah, I should be able to get through. That one's pretty short, so I should be able to get through that. These two, the first, Sunrise and the Reaping, and The Bones Beneath My Skin, are both fairly long. So we'll see with show coming up how fast and how much time I have to devote to reading. But my plan is still to find a way to read every single day. I mean, that's like, there were a couple nights this week where before the coffee gets cold, I literally think I read 10 pages. That's all I read. But I was like, I have to read today.
Something.
So I would read 10 pages.
So I have to ask a question. Remind me, when you were in the other show, I count that as reading. Did you count that as reading?
I counted reading the script the first time as reading, yes.
And we journaled it.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Now, Dial M for Murder.
No, I did not count it the first time. I counted it the second time.
The Dial M for Murder
yes,
one.
I did not count the Ladies of the Camellias.
I kind of feel like you should have counted that one.
Oh, that was last year.
I know, but it's a new year. Now we know.
And you said that to me at the time.
And
so that's why I
did
counted.
That.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. Because then if you're studying your script, don't be hard on yourself because you are reading. With that, that's the ink today, guys.
Thanks, friends. See you
next
time.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. That's a wrap. Time to close the book on today's episode. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Casey. If you had fun, hit the like, follow, and subscribe. Make sure you click on the bell icon.
You can also email us at spilledinkinkcoffeeshow@gmail.com. Send us your questions, tell us what you're reading, or share what we should dive into.
Until next time, keep your coffee hot
and your pages turning.
Bye, guys.
Spilled ink, endless coffee, and great book chats. That's what we're all about.
If you're enjoying the podcast and want to help fuel our next episode, buy us a coffee.
Click the link in our show notes or bio.
Your support means the world, and every sip keeps the pages turning.
Craving bookish banter? The podcast has heard your request and we are answering the call. Hey book lovers, join the Spilled Ink and Coffee Society. We're a monthly virtual book club, but not your typical one. Every first Sunday of the month, 2-ish to 4-ish, we discuss your favorite books. No assigned reading list here. You read what you want, when you want. It's easy. Bring your favorite read. Physical, digital, audio. Even if you don't keep a book journal or analyze every chapter, just bring the book you loved. And don't forget your favorite drink. As we chat, we laugh, we share. Come for the books, stay for the banter. Invite your friends, bookworms, and fellow story lovers, because the more the merrier. So mark your calendars, grab a book, and join us for the Spilled Ink and Coffee Society. Go to our website, thespilledinkinkcoffeeshow.com, and register for free today.